There is a question that most people never ask. Not because the question is difficult, but because answering it would require changing everything. The question is this: who are you, beneath the expectations of others? Not your job, not your reputation, not your social role, not the personality you perform for the world. Who are you, when all of that falls away? Nietzsche spent much of his life wrestling with this question. And his answer was radical. He believed that most people never truly become themselves. They inherit beliefs, they inherit values, they inherit goals. And then they spend their entire lives chasing things they never consciously chose. According to Nietzsche, humanity exists in a state of becoming. We are not finished, we are not complete, we are a bridge between what we are now and what we could become. And he gave a name to that higher possibility, the Ubermensch, the Overman, the one who overcomes himself. Nietzsche introduced the Übermensch in Thus Spoke Zarathustra as a goal humanity can set for itself, contrasting it with passive conformity and the last man. Most people misunderstand this idea. They imagine a superior human, someone stronger, smarter, more powerful. But Nietzsche was not describing a biological evolution, he was describing a spiritual one. The Overman is not someone who dominates others, the Overman is someone who has learned to dominate himself. His fears, his weaknesses, his need for approval, his dependence on external validation. The Overman understands something that ordinary people struggle to accept. No one is coming to save you, no authority, no institution, no ideology, no perfect leader. Meaning is not discovered, meaning is created, and that creation begins with a painful process, a process Nietzsche called self-overcoming. The first enemy. The first enemy is conformity. Human beings are social creatures. We want acceptance, we want belonging, we want approval. There is nothing unusual about that. The danger comes when approval becomes more important than truth. How many decisions in your life were truly yours? How many were chosen because they were expected? Expected by parents, expected by society, expected by strangers. Most people never ask, they simply follow. Nietzsche called this the herd mentality, not because people are stupid, but because following is easier than creating. Creation requires risk. Creation requires responsibility. Creation requires standing alone. And standing alone terrifies most people. The three transformations. In one of the most famous passages of Zarathustra, Nietzsche describes three transformations of the spirit: the camel, the lion, and the child. First comes the camel. The camel carries burdens, it accepts duties, responsibilities, rules, traditions, everything society places upon it. This stage is necessary. Without discipline, growth is impossible. But discipline alone is not freedom. Eventually the spirit must transform. The camel becomes a lion. The lion learns to say no, no to false authorities, no to inherited values, no to the expectations that suffocate individuality. The lion rebels, the lion breaks chains. Yet even rebellion is not enough, because destroying old values does not automatically create new ones. That is why Nietzsche introduces the final transformation, the child. The child represents creativity, play, innocence, a new beginning. The child can create. The child can say yes to life. The child can build new values from nothing. And it is here that the path toward the Overman truly begins. Why most people never become the Overman? Because transformation is painful. It requires letting old identities die, and people become attached to their identities, even when those identities make them miserable. A person may hate their job, yet remain there for decades. A person may know a relationship is unhealthy, yet remain trapped. A person may dream of becoming something greater, yet never act. Why? Because certainty feels safer than possibility. The familiar prison feels safer than the unknown freedom. Nietzsche understood this. That is why he admired courage more than comfort. Not physical courage, existential courage. The courage to become who you truly are. The meaning of self-overcoming. Self-overcoming does not happen once. It happens every day. Every time you resist laziness. Every time you face fear. Every time you choose growth over comfort. You are overcoming yourself. The enemy is rarely outside. The enemy is within. The voice that says, stay small, stay comfortable, stay safe, stay invisible. The Overman refuses, not because life is easy, but because life is worth living fully. The final test. Imagine living this exact life again. Every joy, every mistake, every heartbreak, every failure. Again and again. Forever. Would you accept it? Would you embrace it? Or would you curse it? This was Nietzsche's great challenge. Not merely to endure life, but to affirm it. Completely. To say yes, not only to the beautiful moments, but also to the painful ones. Because every struggle helped shape who you became. The Overman does not seek escape from life. He seeks mastery within life. Closing. Perhaps the Overman is not a destination. Perhaps it is a direction. A direction away from conformity. Away from fear. Away from dependence. A direction toward courage. Toward creativity. Toward self-mastery. Toward becoming. Nietzsche once suggested that humanity is something to be overcome. Not because humanity is worthless, but because it contains possibilities far greater than most people ever realize. The question is not whether the Overman exists. The question is whether you are willing to take the first step, to stop becoming what others expect, and begin becoming what only you can become. The path is difficult. The path is lonely. But according to Nietzsche, it is the only path worthy of a truly awakened life.